This is a bloodsucker, dear viewer, a legendary beast with an unrelenting thirst for human blood from the Stalker franchise that makes its home in the radioactive wastelands of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Radiation is a funny thing. It'll turn a person into a tender, slow-cooked rack of ribs with their skin falling off their bones. But did you know, dear viewer, there are actually some murderous monstrosities from the Stalker series that live and thrive with this invisible spectre of death. Creatures that prey on the unfortunate, the unlucky, and the unprepared brain-dead fools that think they can actually survive against all the odds inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone. That brings us to this fella. This is Mike. He's heading into the zone to seek his fortunes by recovering all manner of anomalous artifacts to sell to the highest bidder. What Mike doesn't know is that the mutants are not going to make it an easy job. But while Mike washes down some salami with an arse-tasting energy drink and tries to squeeze 6 different rifles into his inventory without going over the weight limit, let's provide some basic context for those unfamiliar with the lore. The Stalker games are set in an alternate reality where a second Chernobyl disaster has occurred, creating a mysterious and dangerous area known as the Zone. This zone is highly radioactive and surrounds the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It is filled with anomalies, violent mutated creatures, and very valuable artifacts. However, the events of the timeline are far more intriguing than that brief overview might imply, so if you'll indulge me, let's explore it in just a little bit more detail. And I have to emphasize the little bit here because my original lore script would have taken 3 months to do all the artwork for. On the 26th of April 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, spreading its radioactive load all across Europe. 3 years later, scientists moved into the exclusion zone, forming a secretive faction known as the Group. Their mission? To study the noosphere, an informational field influencing all life on Earth, aiming to purge humanity of anger, greed, and aggression. The abandoned zone became home to a number of clandestine X-labs, where experiments on anomalous objects, people, and animals took place. By the early 2000s, members of the group merged minds to form the Common Consciousness, attempting to alter the noosphere. Their meddling caused a second catastrophe at Chernobyl, enlarging the exclusion zone, altering the topography, and littering the local landscape with dangerous anomalies. The Common Consciousness, sea consciousness if you like, couldn't fully control the noosphere's energy, which resulted in the release of deadly emissions periodically from the power plant. Some scientists splintered off, while others tried to mitigate the chaos. They erected the brain scorcher antennas to conceal their activities, using a psi field to manipulate the minds of those who ventured too close. Expeditions later uncovered mutants and anomalies, prompting investigations into the second Chernobyl disaster. By the 2010s, the recovery of anomalous objects with various second-hand properties became a very lucrative, if dangerous, occupation. And before long, treasure hunters known as Stalkers began venturing into the zone in search of these artifacts to sell to the wealthy. It was also at this time that rumours of a grand anomalous object at the heart of the zone known as the Wish Granter began filtering out into the zone. Understandably, everyone wanted in on it, and greed can lead to dark places, dear viewer. I should know, I nearly did a Raid Shadow Legends ad on this video. Now that is where I'm going to draw a line under the lore, but there is a hell of a lot more to it. There are several in-depth overarching plot lines that spread across numerous factions, but this video is about the mutants. So if you would like more information on the lore, there are lots of superb lore videos on YouTube for you to digest at your pleasure. Not now. After you've watched this one, please, it will cripple the watch time and YouTube will tank the video. Now then, let's get on to the mutants. Mutants are creatures, either animals or people, whose physiology has been altered by the zone, the sea consciousness, or government experiments, often conducted on unwilling subjects, usually convicted criminals. These alterations typically grotesquely deform them, completely change their behaviour, heighten aggression, and in some cases imbue them with anomalous abilities. With that being said, let's embark on the world's worst safari. First up are the flesh, which are mutated pigs. As you can see, the zone hit them hard. Layers of thick hide, scales and bone now cover their bodies, alongside insect-like legs for digging and defense. Their prominent eye allows them to see a wide spectrum of light, and also functions as a powerful olfactory organ, meaning they can smell with their eye, essentially. Despite moving in herds and their relatively harmless nature, they are omnivorous, and can become aggressive if provoked. But even Mike can easily deal with the pigs though. A few well-placed rounds will take them down, and he can even have bacon sandwiches for dinner, as long as he doesn't mind picking bullet fragments from his teeth. On the subject of pigs, this is the mutated boar, Pumbaa's steroid-pumped cousin. While they may not appear as grotesque as their mutant pig counterparts, these creatures are incredibly fierce, the bane of many stalkers I've seen the Reddit boards. They are tougher, faster and stronger than ordinary boars, capable of charging and ripping humans apart with their additional tusks. On their own, they aren't too hard to deal with. Mike just has to keep them in front of him. But when they attack as a group, they'll attack Mike from behind while he's preoccupied with the one at the front. And those tusks are going right where the sun doesn't shine. Keep your back to the wall, Mike. Moving on from pigs, let's discuss dogs. Once man's best friend, now a haunting presence in the zone. Blind dogs are a frequent nuisance. Originally domesticated pets turned wild after the Chernobyl disaster. Over time, natural selection and the zone's anomalous effects have transformed them into pack hunters that rely on an exceptional sense of smell. They can navigate anomalies and radiation fields effortlessly. Their threat lies in their pack mentality. They never travel alone. If Mike becomes encircled or swarmed by a pack of these things, he could find himself in real trouble, especially if they are accompanied by a pseudo dog. Pseudo dogs are descendants of wild wolves that roamed the surrounding forest when Chernobyl went pop. They are fiercely territorial, so as long as you don't go traipsing into their home or attack them, you'll be alright. If Mike is dumb enough to do either, however, which is very likely, those razor-sharp claws and strong jaws will make short work of him. If it comes down to a fight, a well-aimed shotgun blast to the face should do the trick. A final word on dogs, the Psy dog. It's like a pseudo dog, but with the overpowered DLC package. Similar to the pseudo dog, it's a wild wolf mutated by the zone, but it also possesses the anomalous abilities of the Psy field. The Psy dog can manipulate the minds of its prey, inducing illusions of multiple copies of itself attacking. While these illusions do not inflict physical harm, they create confusion, allowing the real Psy dog to move in for the kill. To survive this one, Mike is going to need to keep shooting all the dogs he can see until he finds the real one. Once he puts the real one down, the copies will vanish. Some quickfire smaller critters, rodents, likely some experimented upon creature that escaped the labs before the disaster. They hunt in large packs and despite their size, can bring down much larger prey. Irradiated crows, not dangerous, quite unremarkable really, but to the envy of human pilots, they possess an unknown sense that allows them to detect and avoid gravitational disturbances. Cats. Likely mutated domesticated cats or a wild cat like a lynx perhaps. These are aggressive and possess a lovely pair of mutated fang-like glands on the side of their heads, holding a solution of God knows what, an anticoagulant, a paralytic, maybe even a form of venom. Now, let's get to the dangerous beast. The Chimera is a genetically engineered lion-sized nightmare, created by those meddling scientists. This thing has maxed out its skill tree and then some. It is fast, smart, strong, aggressive, and very dangerous. The Chimera hunts at night. It will creep up on Mike from behind before pouncing on him. If he survives the initial attack, the Chimera will retreat into the cover of darkness and repeat. The Chimera's speed is second to none and can perform very large leaps and dashes to both inflict and avoid damage. Coupled with a frankly absurd tolerance to damage, this is one particular mutant Mike does not want to bump into. His best chance is to spot it before it spots him and lay into it with sniper fire to deal as much damage as he can before it gets him. After that, shotgun blasts to the face are his best hope or some explosives. Fire an RPG or something at it. Generally though, if he is forced into a close quarters fight with this thing, he will lose. Let's move on to the humanoids. First, we have the zombified Stalkers, unfortunate souls that came looking for fortune and glory and instead lost themselves to the Psi field. Zombified Stalkers are the poor devils who wandered into the Psi field and were unable to leave it in time before their minds were lost to madness. They don't eat flesh though. Rather, they are empty, hollow shells of what they once were, aimlessly wandering the zone, mumbling nonsense, attacking anyone they see. Honestly, Mike would be doing these guys a favour by putting them out of their misery. Next up, we have the Snorks, an iconic villain. These were once soldiers stationed inside the zone. However, anomalies and radiation exposure has destroyed their minds, leaving behind nothing but a corrupted, feral creature with a deformed body. Unable to stand, speak, and barely able to see, they are now hunched quadrupedal abominations that rely primarily on their enhanced sense of smell. They hunt usually in packs, setting up ambushes and pouncing on their prey with lightning-fast reflexes from great distances before dismembering and devouring it. I can't tell you how much ammo I wasted on these wankers. You get a few good shots on target and then they begin bouncing around everywhere. Like me, Mike can expect to spend a lot of ammo on these things. A shotgun with a good spread is ideal, or a grenade if he can corner them. Otherwise, enjoy having that dangly thing all over your face. Burers. I hate these things. What happens when you mix a convicted criminal, some secret human experiments, and telekinesis together? Why? You get a Burer. These dungeon-dwelling dwarfs use telekinesis to throw things at you, yank the weapon out of your hands, or even just throw you around in general. It can even throw up a telekinesis shield, making it invulnerable for a time. Clad in manky overalls, this thing has a strong aversion to light, preferring the gloomy darkness of basements and caves. Mike's best chance is to try and lure it into the light and then riddle the thing with bullets. Alternatively, break the line of sight so it can't target him and just lob grenades into the room. Right then, moving towards the good stuff, we have the controllers, another secret human experiment result. First time I saw one of these things, I said, "The fuck is that?" And then things went from 0 to 100 very quick. Their primary gift is the ability to control a person's mind, altering what they perceive around them. They can also launch psychic bolts to destroy a person's mind, and even just being near them for too long has a severe detrimental effect on the brain. They pose a significant threat even to the savviest battle-hardened zone explorer and should not be underestimated. If Mike wants to survive this thing, he needs to attack them from a distance and from cover. Alternatively, if he has the balls for it, he can get in close and attack it while it is retreating. Coming in to claim silver are the Bloodsuckers, my favourite mutant from the franchise. Their origins are a bit of a mystery, but it's likely they were another government experiment given their attributes. Bloodsuckers are almost a legend within the zone given their rarity. Very few live to tell the tale after encountering them. Bloodsuckers are found in the deepest parts of the zone, often underground in lairs they build to drag slaughtered prey back in for later consumption. Probably their greatest and most dangerous attribute is their optic camouflage, which allows them to temporarily become invisible to the naked eye. Using this camouflage, they will sneak up on unsuspecting prey. Once within striking distance, they will slash and hack at them with their claws before their facial tentacles wrap around the victim's throat. A paralytic immobilizes the prey, which is then drained of blood, leaving behind only a desiccated, mummified husk. This is a tough egg to crack. If Mike can get the drop on them, he needs to deal as much damage as he can as fast as he can. Otherwise, he'll have to wait until their camouflage drops and just hope he can do more damage than it can. And finally, the Pseudo Giant, one of the rarest and most formidable mutants in the zone. Like the Bloodsucker, their origins are a mystery, but the most likely theory is it is another laboratory fuck-up, or several conjoined humans that have mutated into one big boy. This thick, 2-ton tank of a beast can seriously lay down the hurt, and they can take a lot of damage in return. A bit like the Mountain from Game of Thrones, he's freakish big and freakish strong, and quicker than you'd expect for a beast of that size. They can deal a strong blunt force headbutt, club you with a swing from muscular arms, stab you with a smaller claw, or even pull off a ground pound move and send out a damaging shockwave. To deal with this thing, Mike is going to need to harness his inner Obi-Wan Kenobi and claim the high ground. Because despite all their peak Predator prowess, they cannot climb, and then hope he doesn't run out of bullets, which is a real possibility. A couple of ghostly honorary mentions go to the Poltergeist and the Pyrogeist. Rumour has it, these are stalkers hit by massive radiation waves. Alternate theories suggest various human experimentation and byproducts of the sea consciousness research. Poltergeists show as floating clouds of electricity and like to throw junk at people. The Pyrogeist spawns in pillars of fire to attack people and can also block avenues of escape with walls of fire. Mike can dispatch both pretty easily by shooting the haze they manifest as. And those are the mutants of S.T.A.L.K.E.R and where they come from. Now, get out of here, Stalker, and go forth armed with the knowledge of how to survive the various beasts of the zone while you seek your prize. But let's be honest, you're probably gonna die anyway. Best of luck though. Sorry about the radiation exposure, Mike, but thanks for helping us out again. You're a champ. Check out this video for another great story, and be sure to leave a like if you made it this far, it really helps the channel. Big up the patrons, and special thanks to Viger, Infinitune, and Andre Bachert.